Today Baba says that it is said in the world that the soul is his own best friend and its own worst enemy. आत्मा आप ही अपना मित्र, आप ही अपना शत्रु. So Baba says that we think that our enemy is outside, our enemy is someone else or something else, but it is said that the soul is his own worst enemy and its own best friend. Are you aware how we become our own enemy? So, we become our own enemy when we are deluded by Maya. So, when lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed takes over, then you create thoughts, words, and acts. It's your own creation, your own karma through which you suffer. But you are so taken over by Maya that you do not understand that your own acts are acts of self-sabotage. They are not helping you, they are not serving you, they are they are making your life miserable. And then you see, even when these sense organs, they take over. So when you are taken over by the body, so pleasure, sensual pleasure, when it dominates your consciousness, then also you become your own enemy. And you see, people are today the servants of their senses, and they want to feel, taste, these are the things that are taking over their awareness, and people are choosing to eat, drink, and make choices and perform actions which are neither helping themselves nor the body. So you see, I remember when I was in office, there was this one brother, and he would tell me for 15 minutes how going for a walk is very important for health. And it's so I was the one he was reporting to, so he had to take permission from me so that he could go for a walk. So he used to convince me that during lunchtime I should give him at least half an hour or some time so that he can go for a walk. And then he would go for a walk, and what would he do there? He would go and smoke. So he knows that to stay healthy you have to go for a walk, but he doesn't know that smoking spoils that same health. So then I once told him, have you ever calculated how much damage you do to yourself by going on that walk and how much benefit you gain? So he said, no, but going for a walk is always beneficial. I said, yes, but not if you smoke. So so then he said, no, that's a habit. So I said, but that habit is costing you. So you see that we don't understand that the choices that we are making, whatever people are smoking or drinking, or do you even understand that on the packet of what they smoke, it's written that smoking is injurious to health, and then still people consume that. There is a statutory warning that is embossed on that packet, and still people are consuming it. And Why do we make these choices? Because, the intellect is not working, the intellect is not functional. The intellect is taken over by Maya and matter. So, this body is a body of matter, and the sense organs of the body, they take over your intellect, and then you're not able to think straight, you're not able to make decisions or choices which are for your advantage. And so, people are engaging in all kinds of, self harm or activities that are damaging their mental, emotional, physical health in the long run, because they are taken over by sensual pleasure. And then you see there is Maya, and Maya gets you, Maya again, it messes up with the intellect, and then you are choosing to think and speak and act in a manner which is causing you a lot of misery. So I know of people who have tried to kill themselves because they are in deep attachment with somebody who is not reciprocating. So, and I remember there was this one Mata, and she had this habit of, just beating her head against the wall if the husband did not, reciprocate in the manner she wanted him to. And she used to get frustrated, and then she would beat her head against the wall. And when she used to come to the center, she had these big bumps on the head. And then I asked her, what is this big bumps? Every now and then I see these. And then once the husband came, and he said, Didi, this is what she does when she gets angry. And so just think about, people are even physically harming themselves when they are in attachment. And people try to, kill themselves and cause self-harm also. And then Baba says, think about not just physical harm, but the kind of thoughts you create, the kind of feelings you create when you are under the influence of ego and anger and attachment and, lust and greed. And then what happens is all those thoughts and feelings, they are becoming your sanskars, because we have habits of thoughts, we have habits of feelings, we have habits of attitudes, habits of actions. So they are costing you a lot in the long run. And we don't understand all that. And especially when anger takes over, then there's only one language that people speak. I am right, they are wrong, and I am right, and they are wrong. And then creating anger, thoughts of anger, feelings of, discontentment, frustration, anger, for that which, for the one who you think is wrong seems right to you. And then you think that I am creating all the right thoughts and right feelings because it is correct to think wrongly and create wrong feelings about the one who is wrong. And then you keep doing that under the guise that, this is the right kind of thought and right kind of feeling. And then, in this, so we are basically, so the soul is not, there is no other enemy out there. It is the soul who is his own worst enemy. And we are not our friend until Baba comes and teaches us how to be our friend. And this friendship with our own selves, or being a friend to yourself, is something that Baba comes and teaches. And before Baba comes, we do not know how to be our own friend. And do you even think that, there is, so, so many thoughts of fear and sadness and anger and loss and so many feelings we are creating inside, and it's all being played on the screen of my mind, and then it is changing into a sanskar, and we are doing it to ourselves. And when Baba comes, Baba teaches us, the first thing that Baba tells me is that you are the one who is performing actions through the mind, through your words, and through your deeds. So, the first thing that Baba teaches me is self sovereignty, and Baba makes me responsible for my actions and destiny, because up until now, under the sway of Maya and matter, I always believed that it is my circumstances and it is others that are responsible for how I think and feel and how I behave. But then Baba releases us from that illusion, and Baba gives me the knowledge and the ability to see and figure out that I am a soul and I am the one who is creating my own thoughts, my feelings, my actions, and I am the one doing all that through the body, and that I have a choice. And Baba says that until and unless I come, you do not know that you have a choice. People don't know that they have a choice about what they want to think or how they want to feel, or that thought, feeling, and actions are their own creation. And then Baba tells us that because you have been around for 84 births and you have depleted yourself, now you need power to reclaim that choice. You need power to become a master of your mind, your life, your senses. And for that, you have to remember me. And only remembering me will make you pure. And what is pure? Purity is symbolized by the lotus. And the lotus is a symbol of detachment. So, until and unless you detach from your own mind, you detach from your senses, until and unless you become pure, you cannot rule that which you are attached to. So, right now, so when we come to Baba, we come in that state where I do not know that I am the soul and I am the master of the mind. I do not know that I am the soul and I am the master of my senses. And from that state, I have to come to that place where I know that I am separate from the mind, I am separate from the body, I am separate from the senses, and I am the master, and these are the ones who follow my orders. And how do you gain that power of seeing yourself as a separate and more powerful entity? That is called purity. So, and that purity is something that is a product of remembrance of Baba. So, Baba says that you want to be your own friend. So, first thing you do is remember me. And then through that remembrance, you become pure. And you become like this lotus who knows that, it is in everything, but it is not a part of everything, it is detached. So when you remember Baba a lot and you become free from the trap of body consciousness, then you are able to see that, you are creating thoughts in your mind and you have choice about what you do with your sense organs. And you are able to create feelings and thoughts of peace and purity and joy and bliss by remembrance of Baba, and you're able to fill yourself with super sensuous joy through this remembrance of Baba. So Baba says, I come and tell you the method to um, become your own friend. And then, we have lost everything. We lost our whole kingdom and we lost everything that we had by being our own enemy, by acting on Ravan Mat. So, we lost our inner treasures, we lost everything external. And then Baba says, by following Shrimat, you become your own friend. So, when you follow Shrimat that Baba gives for the body, when you follow Shrimad that Baba gives for the mind, when you follow Shrimad that Baba gives for wealth, then again, that body, mind, and wealth start becoming an asset. Right now, my body, mind, and wealth are a liability because we have used it on the directions of Ravan. And when I use that same body, mind, and wealth on Shrimat, then it starts becoming an asset and it starts serving me. Now, you see, people are abusing their bodies for all kinds of sensual pleasures, whether it is through lust or through any kind of physical sensual engagement. We have we have started seeing this body as a source of sensual pleasure. But Baba tells us that this body is your temple. You are the soul, you are the deity soul, and this body is your temple. And start looking at this body as a pure temple. And then do not abuse any organ of this body. Always, use every organ of the body on Shrimat. So, let your hands do that which Baba asks you to do. Let your feet walk and reach where Baba directs you to go. Let your eyes see only that which, Baba asks you to see. That let your ears hear only that which Baba allows you to hear. And Baba says that, in the in Satyug, how do you describe the body of a deity? They are said, it is said, Hast Kamal, Charan Kamal, Karn Kamal, Nain Kamal. So, the eyes are like lotus, the ears are like lotus, the mouth is like lotus, and they are seated on lotus throne. And then the hands are like lotus, and the feet are like lotus. So, Baba says, this at this time, this body is, what is this body? People are saying that this body is only making me suffer, and Baba is relieving us from this state and taking us to that state where every organ of our body is described as lotus like. And Baba says, how do you have this transformation? When you start using every organ, every sense organ of your body on my Shrimat. So do not engage. I'll give you one example. There was this one Kanya, and her parents were in Gyan, and she had come to the center, and her eyes, they couldn't, they couldn't sit, they couldn't be still for a second, and she had so much of pain in her eyes. And then she was not doing any job or anything which required her to sit before the computer, or because these days there are jobs, there are people who do jobs which require them to sit for 12 hours in front of the computer, and then those things you can't help. But then she was not into any kind of obligation to sit in front of a screen. And then she was so addicted to the phone that she had spoiled her whole, her ears were hard of hearing, and because of using the earphone, and her eyes were so strained and so much in pain because of that abuse of the eyes and ears through phone. And Baba tells us that, uh, so this is how, we are abusing the body. And Baba says that I give you Shrimat, and Shrimat says that there is no need to, just read the Murli, listen to the Murli, have that food for thought, and just see the invisible all the time. See Baba all the time. Remain in Baba's remembrance and do your work. Do not abuse your eyes and ears and listen to unnecessary things or see unnecessary stuff. And Baba says that, celibacy, not impure, not making any of your organs impure through engagement in lust. And then Baba says all our actions have to be pure, the words we speak have to be pure. And then, Baba gives us so many directions for the mind, Shrimat for the mind. And you make a list of all of Baba's Shrimat with regard to body, mind, wealth, time, thought, energy, every karma. And Baba says that if you follow Shrimat, then you become your own best friend, because it is through karma that you lose your happiness. You cannot lose your happiness if you do not engage in impure karma or wastage. So in this world, when you are, so there are only two options, good karma and bad karma. There is no neutral karma from the copper age. So if you are not doing good karma, you are obviously depleting yourself. So Baba says that I teach you what to do with your resources, because these resources are like, they are always there, they are constantly there. You put them to good use, otherwise they are put to misuse. So just think about the mind, constantly creating thoughts. If you don't create conscious thoughts, the mind will engage in unconscious thinking, which will be wasteful or vicious, and that will create a karmic burden. So Baba says that I give you the Shrimat, and when you follow the Shrimat that I give you, but first you have to remember me, purify yourself, and become powerful, and then you follow Shrimat. And when you do that, you start becoming your own friend. And Baba gives us Shrimat in three ways, One, Shrimat, first aspect of Shrimat is, what should you not do? Yes, so Baba gives us clarity about not abusing our body, mind and wealth, not abusing our power of, not abusing our resources. And then Baba gives us Shrimat about what to do. So, creating the stock of remembrance and good karma through seva by investing your body, mind and wealth in yajna seva. So that is also an aspect of Shrimat that Baba gives. So Shrimat doesn't only mean that you were spoiling your fortune by doing something wrong and now you don't do it. But the thing is, if you don't do something right, you will end up doing something wrong. Because you have body, mind and wealth. If you don't do what Baba asks you to do through it, then you will obviously have a buffer of it, and then it will be used for something that it is not meant to be used for. For example, if you do not engage your mind in remembering Baba, in churning knowledge, and in doing world seva, mansa seva, then obviously your mind doesn't have any task, and then it will go towards wasteful and vicious thinking. So just telling that, don't do this, because in bhakti also we heard a lot of don't do this, right? But what to do, they never told us. And that is why we kept listening, don't do this, don't do this, but then we kept doing that same thing because we did not know what to do with the body, mind, and wealth. And Baba says that now I am telling you the method. So, both these things, what you shouldn't do and what you should do has to be taken care of. And then, one of the biggest thing that Baba gives us as Shrimat is don't take sorrow. So, in Ravan Rajya, we are conditioned to believe that taking sorrow is the biggest aspect of morality. And when people die, what do other people say? I'm expressing my sorrow. I'm expressing my deep sorrow in this situation. So, people think that your biggest contribution in any situation is to be sorrowful. And in Hindi we say, in English we say, I'm so sorry for your loss. Or in Hindi you say, मुझे बहुत खेद है, मुझे बहुत अफसोस है. So, we are conditioned to believe that if you are sorrowful and sorry and in sorrow and about something, then that is kind of a contribution you are making to a sad situation. And Baba says that you do not have to take sorrow in anything. You do not have to, being sorry, being sorrowful is not a good idea. Baba says just, if there is something that happened which you feel can be corrected next time, correct it. But taking sorrow because of it, or taking sorrow in the face of situations, or people think that taking sorrow is not even a choice. When people are giving you sorrow, you have to take sorrow. But Baba says no, taking sorrow is always your choice, and never take sorrow. This is also one of Baba's Shrimat. And the people who take care of their karma in bhakti, in bhakti they only know don't lie, don't steal, and don't do anything which is gross. But apart from that, so people who pay attention to that also, those who are not stealing, not robbing, not lying, they also take a lot of sorrow, because it is understood that being sensitive and taking sorrow all the time is a very good idea. And Baba tells us, no, don't be sensitive, be very sensible, never take sorrow. And not taking sorrow is an aspect of being your friend. So, if you are, when we come to Baba, we learn this, that not taking sorrow in the face of adverse situations, not taking insult in the face of insulting words, not taking sorrow in the face of rude behavior, that's a mercy that I have to have for myself. And I have to understand that I have to use the knowledge of the drama and use the knowledge of the sanskars of souls, so that, and I have to use the knowledge that I am a soul and my thoughts, my feelings are my creation. So I think and feel as I am, not as the situation is or not as the other person is. So when I use these points of knowledge, then I will be able to not take sorrow. And you see, by doing what you shouldn't do, by not doing what you should do, and by taking sorrow, we have become our worst enemy. And then Baba makes us our own best friend by first teaching us how to remember Baba and become pure. And then when we have the power of purity and remembrance, then we follow Shrimat. And Shrimat says what you shouldn't do, what you should do, and not take sorrow. And when we follow all of that, then we are able to become our own best friend, create a fortune for ourselves. And then, today Baba gives an example of people killing themselves in the name of God. And Baba says that in bhakti also, even bhakti teaches you to be your enemy. And when you go and so there are people who have killed themselves in Kashi, and there was a sword in a well, and they used to just go and plunge into that well in the remembrance of Shiv Baba, and think that this sacrifice will give them liberation. And Baba says these methods are also methods of giving yourself sorrow, because you see there is the sin of committing suicide that you create by following this path of bhakti. And Baba says there are so many methods in which we self-sabotage, we give ourselves sorrow, and we think that we are doing the right thing, because Maya and also bhakti, it kind of convinces us that you're doing the right thing, but actually we are only being our enemy by doing that. And have you seen that people in the name of bhakti, they are beating themselves? Have you seen they take that that rope and they keep beating themselves, and blood comes out of the body, and still they keep doing that? Or have you seen that people are consuming so much of in I remember there was somebody who told me that taking bhang, on in Shiv Jayanti, Shivratri, is something that you do for God. So God is pleased when you take bhang on Shivratri. So you see, people are causing so much sorrow to themselves, creating so many negative karma, because they think that they are doing the right thing because bhakti says so. Have you seen people people gamble on Diwali? So gambling is something they do by thinking that it is the right thing, and they think that gambling or Diwali is an auspicious practice. But is that so? And people are taking sticks and beating other people in Holi, and there is Latmar Holi and this and that. So just think about the kind of rituals we have created, and they are all means of creating vikarma, but we don't realize that, and we don't understand that this is bhakti, and Maya deludes us, and in that in that deluded state, you don't understand that what you're doing is not a means to be happy or means to being your own friend. It's a means to being your own worst enemy. And there are so many things you could, if you look at bhakti closely, then there in bhakti there is caste system, there is gender inequality, which is very much ingrained in the scriptures, and all of that we are engaging in, and we are not looking at souls as souls, and we are not looking at souls as somebody who deserves love and respect irrespective of who they are or what they do, but we are looking at them as males and females, and caste and what they do and their occupations, and according to that there is so much of righteous ego, righteous anger, righteous subjugation that they are subjected to. So we have to understand all these things, and Baba says not just Maya but even bhakti makes us perform a lot of sins under the guise that we are doing the right thing. And when we come to Baba, Baba opens the locks on our intellect, and Baba tells us that all that you heard, you should be doing in bhakti. I never said all of that. And then I am telling you what to do, what to not do, and not take sorrow, and just do that, and you will be your own best friend. Okay, Om Shanti.